Everyone, welcome to Cowabunga Ranger Talk. Today we're looking at the Power Rangers Reignition 6-pack right here. That's the box it comes in. And now let's take a look at the box. So this is the side panel. This is the front of the box. So here, that's that. That's pretty much what's in there. Here you can see, this is all 6 of them right here. Give you a better look at them. The boxes are very nice, by the way. That's the first thing. First impressions, I think the girls are a little tiny, but we'll get into that in a second. But yeah, that's basically a shot of the 6 Rangers that come in the box. Now here's the back of the boxes. There's Billy's bio, his name, his skill. Then we'll move on to Tommy here. That's his bio. His skill set, name, martial arts, all that stuff. There it is for Kimberly. Now we move on to Jason, the leader of the team, the name, skill set, personality, weapons, Zord. This is a very nice image, by the way, because I've seen images similar to this, Green Ranger, but as stock footage, or as stock images, but this one actually looks very, very good. These other images look fine, but they're nothing you haven't seen before a million times. But specifically the Green Ranger kind of stands out. Like the Yellow Ranger there, this is the Black Ranger. There's Trini's bio. And Zach's bio. Getting into it a little bit, elephant in the room, this is not the Lightning collection. So let's get that already out of the way so you can enjoy these figures, because I see a lot of people not enjoying them because they're missing a little paint or this or that. But these are not. They never said they were the Lightning collection. The boxes are a little bit smaller than the Lightning collection boxes, but they are pretty nice. I'm just using Tommy here for example. So you remember the Lightning collection box. This is the metallic glittery one, if you will. So spine wise, it's an interesting choice because they went straight for the middle of the helmet instead of the side like the Lightning collection kind of gave it at a, not at a 90 degree, but I guess you want to call it like 70 degree angle is kind of what they're doing here. This is the only Lightning collection box I still have complete, so that's kind of that. But let's look at the back of it, just because like I said, since a lot of people are wondering about this, might as well get the footage in. See, they use in the Lightning collection a single shot. Here they use a render, the helmet, things like that. On the bottom it's the legal stuff, yada yada. And yeah, this is not the Lightning collection, even though honestly, like, you start looking at it, as far as cuts go, just from just like an overview perspective, they don't have the abdomen crunch, they don't have the double elbows, they don't have the double knees, but I mean, except for that. Oh, and they have this. The hinges for the legs are up in the stomach and not in the center crotch. So that's something that the Lightning collections always had. Most action figures in, modern day have that. But Playmates decided to put it up in the, somewhere in the top of the abdomen, or I guess lower intestine, if you will. But yeah, so let's start looking at these figures. So here it is, the Reignition line of figures. These are the collector boxes, as you all know. So this is the collector single edition figures. Figure I just lay everything out here. Some of them have their weapons just to show you a variety of what they look like with their weapons. This is all of their weapons here. No, they don't actually combine or anything. So let's look at one of the figures here. Let's look at the Blue Ranger Billy. So body-wise, the Ranger males all have the same weapon. I mean, the same body, if you will. They also share a lot of the weapons. So there's that. As far as articulation, there's a knee with sort of a swivel there. So if you wanted to do a little side kick, you could do a side kick right there. I don't think that looks terrible. Here, these gaps, because they are connected to the top of the waist here, it's kind of deep on him. The others, they're not that bad, so for review purposes, it's okay. Weapons, no, they don't combine, like I said. These are fun. They do need some paint, but body-wise, I don't think they are massively, distant to the Lightning collection, if you're wondering about that. As far as, because if you think about Lightning collection, it had the abdomen crunch there, it had double knees, double elbows, more swivel to the hand, but and a ball joint here. This has a ball joint too, but it's very tight, and it's the same on all of the male Rangers, all of the female Rangers as well. Proportionally speaking, I think the Blue Ranger is just fine. Let's look at another one here. Stand them there. Let's look at Buddy here, the Red Ranger. He is, the same body as the other, so there's not a lot of surprises there. The weapons all fit pretty good. See? The weapons don't fall. The helmet needs some paint though, as you can see there. And like I said, these are nice, but know what you're going into. One thing that I don't think they could have even tried to do, just because it's so small, is right there, the waist, the morpher. It doesn't have anything. It's just a dot. But I don't think they could have kind of done anything there. We'll put her aside. And now let's look at Yellow Ranger Trini. This looks like sort of a diaper connection, but it is not. She can sit basically that deep. So that's kind of bad here. With the waist, this should be nicer, but what are you gonna do? It's the female body, female buck. Helmet also needs some paint, if it'll focus. See that? Same articulation scheme, knee, top hip, if you will, elbows, hands, and why don't we put the weapons on her? Why not? See, this is what I don't like about, they should be able to lean, because if it's cut there, but I don't want to force that, and don't try and force that either, because you might break it. I wanted a deeper bend there, but see, it'll kick out better than it kicks in. That's her right there. Let's give her weapons. Weapons on her do seem a little big, but nothing that'll oh man, what are you gonna do? She looks alright right there. Put her there. Let's look at my man here, Tommy Green Ranger, Mighty Morphin Green Ranger. This is the same body as the others, but he has this shield. He's also got a big lining here where it's supposed to stay put. To the back, I think it's just glued. I'm not gonna rip it and ruin it. It's fine. It's pretty dark as far as like browns, or even, because this is supposed to mimic gold, so that's pretty dark for gold. The head sculpt is fine, but very small. I would have liked to seen these a little bit bigger. I think they're trying to go just under like 5 inches, but here I have the automorphin that Playmates is doing. So let's look at him. See, side by side, he's a lot bigger. He's like an entire inch bigger. So that I don't like. I wish this would have been consistent, because I've seen other, people with Goldar, and Goldar doesn't scale this well. So like the bad guys scale well with the retro, the original vintage line, the Saban line, the Bandai line. But I don't know where they're trying to go with this, but why would you make it 2 different sizes? Like this is radically different sizes. And if you look at it, it's a lot of the same articulation. The thing is that the automorphins don't have the hinge here and the elbow. I mean, not the elbow, the top of the arm. But except for that, these are very tiny as well, but they do seem a little more proportional than what happens here. So put that to the side. Here, let's give him his gold dagger, because he comes with a gold dagger, just like the automorphin one. And it is not the same size. Oh, you know what? It is not the same size. See? It's a little bit bigger. For him, I think it would have been nice if they put the Sword of Darkness, but it's not a deal breaker or a game changer either. Just something else to add to the figure. I'll put him there. Now let's look at Kimberly. So she's got the dumpy, sort of diaperish look to her, but it's a hard diaper, so you can't even move much. The skirt, it's pretty manageable, so you can move this around a little. It's not the most hindered skirt I've ever seen on a Pink Ranger. It does actually kick pretty high, a lot higher than the automorphin one. Now, she doesn't come with an arrow. She just comes with the bow there. But since she's got one hand, just there, I figured I'd give her her little weapon. Articulation's the same as the girl, the Trini figure. Standing like that, she looks alright. Put her with Tommy there, and now the final Ranger to look at for today. It is the Black Mastodon, Zack, or Adam if you want it, because these aren't, 2 character. These are just 2 costume to the Ranger. This is good. They're not loose or anything. So body wise, you know what you're getting. These hinges, like you bump them. I know they're made to bump, but kind of odd there. Let me show you the close-up of the helmet, because that's kind of the money shot there. Because the bodies are all the same. Needs a lot of paint as well. Let's give him his axe. And no, this doesn't transform, and it doesn't even slide. It's just there to be a piece, you know, basically. And that is the 6-pack right there. That's what they look like. So overall thoughts, what am I thinking? I think it's okay. It didn't light the world on fire to what they are. But maybe this is there's some good here. So I'm not going to just, oh, I wasted whatever, you know, money thrown away. No. I think a lot of this is really actually very good. I think more of my problem with it is the size. Like I said, making these one size and then making those another size really like messes with the appreciation of it as an entire line, because you're going to be building either to this scale or to this scale. You shouldn't do that when, especially for a line that's been done as much as Mighty Morphin. You really shouldn't be doing that. But let's look at here Black Ranger for a second. I think the sculpting is actually really good, except for this, you know, the waist cut. And you see the division that they put here. It almost looks like it wants to bend again, kind of like some of the Super 7 stuff does, but it doesn't. So there's that. And before we sort of wrap up this episode, let me pull back the camera, just because I usually have this, you know, Ranger loose. I have him here. This is a Legacy. A Legacy Red Ranger from Bandai. This is what they wanted to do as a collector line. Move this here. Proportionally speaking, okay, this is more TV accurate, and this is more superhero-y and sort of the Batman years and everything that people have said a million times. But I did want to show the comparisons, and since I have them here, just to one more time show more scaling to what these are. See, even he doesn't know why they're different sizes. So there's that. See here, this Ranger has that same sort of indentation at the thigh that I was telling you about. So, but I think it's a little better done here. And just because I have it loose, I have King Sphinx here, the Super 7 version. Man, this was well worth the 20 bucks I paid for it at Ross. Might even be like I'd probably, you know, go so far as to say a $30, maybe even $35, because it is very nicely done. That is impressive looking. And I always want my monsters to be bigger than my Rangers, just because the threat should be bigger. As a series creator, I always like to think the threat of the bad guys has to be more than the good guys can handle, so it looks like a threat. If it looks like the bad guys are easily defeatable, what are we doing here? If you try to be cute about it, that's not going to scale at all. He's going to just like step on him. But I think that's it for today for Cowabunga Ranger Talk, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.